My brother mocked my job in front of everyone at Thanksgiving dinner, while my father whispered for me not to humiliate the family. My name is Mia. I am 29 years old, and to them, that means I am a failure who refuses to grow up. A real job in their minds involves a corner office, a salary with benefits, and a title my mother can post about on Facebook. I don't have any of that. I work alone in a soundproof closet in my apartment, wearing sweatpants, talking into a microphone, and somehow that was enough for my brother to treat me like a cautionary tale. This year, he walked in with a new girlfriend on his arm, flashing his expensive watch and talking about his quarterly bonus. Everyone at the table looked at me with that pitying expression, waiting for me to embarrass myself. After 20 minutes of him bragging about his team and his new clients, his girlfriend finally turned to me and asked, "So, Mia, what do you do for work?" I opened my mouth to answer, but my dad cut me off. "She's finding herself," he said quickly, forcing a laugh. "Don't ask too many questions, or we'll be here all night." The whole table chuckled. My brother, Justin, smirked and added, "Yeah, she talks to herself in a closet. We're still waiting for her to join the real world." I sat there gripping my fork until my knuckles turned white, while my own family laughed at the empire I had built in silence. I just smiled, took a sip of wine, and said nothing. A few minutes later, his girlfriend pulled out her phone. "Oh, speaking of talking," she said excitedly, "you guys have to hear this story I was listening to on the drive over. It's trending everywhere right now." She hit play, and my voice filled the dining room. She froze. She stared at the phone, then slowly looked up at me. The laughter died instantly, and the color drained from their faces so fast you'd think they'd seen a ghost. If your family has ever treated your career like a joke, stay with me. Because that night was the last time they ever laughed at my job without paying the price. When I finally got back to my apartment that night, the quiet felt heavy. I didn't turn on the lights. I just leaned against the door, listening to the hum of the refrigerator, replaying the scene in my head. One minute, Justin was making jokes about how I needed to update my resume. The next minute, his girlfriend, Elena, was playing the latest episode of The Shadow Reader, my channel, and my voice was rolling over the cranberry sauce like a thunderstorm. She had looked at me with wide eyes. "Wait," she whispered. That's you?" I hadn't explained it. I hadn't pulled out my bank statements or my subscriber count. I just shrugged and said, "I have a distinct voice." Justin had tried to change the subject, stuttering about football, but the damage was done. The air had shifted. Driving home, every mile felt like a victory lap I was running alone. My brother, Justin, is 32. He works in investment banking. He wears suits that cost more than my first car. My parents talk about him like he invented money. My mom, Susan, loves to tell her friends, "Justin is so busy, he barely has time to breathe," as if exhaustion is a status symbol. I am the opposite. I am the daughter who quit law school, moved into a studio apartment, and started narrating horror stories and psychological thrillers on the internet. They call what I do a hobby. They say, "Mia is just playing pretend." What they don't know is that the channel Elena played at dinner has 3.5 million subscribers. I write and narrate stories about toxic families, urban legends, and revenge. I use a pseudonym. I never show my face. It is the only reason I could afford to pay off my student loans in cash last year. A fact I never told them because they wouldn't believe where the money came from. 3 years ago, when I hit my first 500,000 subscribers, I tried to share the news. I showed them the plaque YouTube sent me. My dad looked at it and said, "That's cute, honey, but does it come with health insurance?" My mom asked if I could trade the subscribers for a stable income. Justin laughed and said, "Internet fame isn't real, Mia. You're one algorithm change away from being homeless." That was the day I decided to stop seeking their validation. I built a wall. On one side was Mia the failure, the daughter they pitied. On the other side was the shadow reader, the voice that millions of people fell asleep to every night. At Thanksgiving, when my two worlds collided, it wasn't planned. But seeing the fear in their eyes when they realized I wasn't the small, helpless thing they imagined, it woke something up in me. Standing in my kitchen, I realized I was done playing small to make them feel big. I couldn't force them to respect me, but I could make sure that the next time they tried to humiliate me, they would know exactly who they were dealing with. The days after Thanksgiving, I went into ghost mode. I didn't answer the group chat. I didn't reply to my mom's text asking if I wanted leftover ham. I focused entirely on the work they despised. My routine is sacred. I wake up at 5 a.m. I write until 10. I record until 2. People think content creation is luck. They don't see the spreadsheets, the audio editing, the contract negotiations. I received an email that Tuesday that made my heart stop. Subject partnership proposal. Nightfall series. It was from Audiosphere, one of the largest audiobook platforms in the world. They wanted to sign me for an exclusive 10-part original series. They offered a signing bonus that looked like a phone number. I sat in my chair staring at the screen. Justin had just bought a new BMW and my parents wouldn't stop talking about it. This contract alone was worth 3 BMWs. I replied, setting up a meeting for the next day. When I logged onto the video call, I kept my camera off, using my channel's logo as my avatar. The executives were gracious. They talked about my unique vocal quality and my mastery of tension. They treated me like a business partner, not a child. Then they introduced the creative director for the marketing campaign. "We've brought in a top strategist from the Apex agency," the VP said. "She's a huge fan of your work. Elena, are you there?" My stomach dropped. Elena, Justin's girlfriend. Her face popped up on the screen. She looked professional, sharp. "Hi," she said, smiling at my logo. "I can't tell you how excited I am. I've been listening to you for years. Your voice is iconic." She didn't know it was me. Not officially. At Thanksgiving, she had suspected, but she hadn't confirmed. Now she was pitching a $1 million campaign built entirely around my brand. I decided to take a risk. "Hi, Elena," I said, using my natural speaking voice. "It's good to speak with you again." There was a pause on the line. A long, heavy silence. Then Elena's eyes went wide. She leaned closer to her webcam. "Mia," she whispered. The other executives looked confused. "You two know each other?" "We met recently," I said smoothly. "Elena had dinner with my family." Elena looked stunned. She composed herself quickly, but I saw the wheels turning. She was realizing that the loser sister her boyfriend mocked was the centerpiece of her biggest project of the year. "Yes," Elena said, her voice shaking slightly. "We did. I had no idea. I suspected, but—" "Let's focus on the work," I said. "I'd love to hear your ideas for the campaign." We got through the meeting. Elena was brilliant. She pitched a campaign about the voices we hide, stories about secrets and hidden identities. It was perfect. After the call ended, I got a private email from her. Subject: "I am so sorry." Message: "Mia, I honestly didn't know until Thanksgiving, and confirming it today. I feel terrible about what Justin said at the table. He has no idea, does he?" I typed back, "No, he doesn't, and I'd like to keep it that way until the launch." She replied instantly, Your secret is safe with me. And for the record, you're a legend. I closed my laptop and smiled. My brother's girlfriend was now on my payroll, essentially, and Justin was still bragging about his quarterly bonus. December flew by. I signed the contract, the money hit my account. I paid off the last of my car payments. I put a down payment on a house, a real house with a yard and a dedicated studio. I didn't tell my parents. Christmas was approaching. The mandatory Vance family Christmas Eve dinner. My mom texted, "Please come. Justin is bringing Elena again. Try to dress nicely this time." I almost said no, but then Elena texted me. "The campaign launches on Christmas Eve. We're putting the promo video on prime time. You might want to be near a TV." I texted my mom back. "I'll be there." The house looked like a Hallmark movie. My mom had gone overboard with the decorations. My dad was wearing a Santa hat. Justin was holding court in the living room, a scotch in his hand. "Yeah, the market is volatile," he was saying to my uncle, "but you have to know how to ride the waves. That's what separates the pros from the amateurs." He saw me and smirked. "Hey, look who decided to show up," he called out. "How's the closet coming along?" "It's fine, Justin," I said calmly. Elena was standing next to him. She looked pale. She gave me a tiny nod. We sat down for dinner. The usual interrogation began. "So, Mia," my aunt asked, "are you seeing anyone or just focusing on your art?" "Just working," I said. "Work," Justin scoffed, if you can call it that. "Mom, did you see the LinkedIn update I sent you? I got nominated for Associate of the Month." "We saw it," my mom beamed. "We're so proud. A real award." Elena put down her fork. "Actually," she said, her voice cutting through the chatter, "speaking of awards, Mia, didn't you get something recently?" The table went quiet. My dad frowned. "Mia, what would she get?" "A Golden Mike Award," I said casually, "and a Streamy nomination." Justin laughed. "What is that? Like a participation trophy for the internet?" Elena stood up. "No," she said coldly. "It's the industry standard for excellence in audio broadcasting." She walked over to the TV in the living room. "What are you doing, babe?" Justin asked. "I want to show you something," Elena said. "My agency just launched our biggest campaign of the year. It's for Audiosphere." "Oh, nice," Justin said, puffing out his chest. "That's a big client. Good for you." "Yeah," Elena said. "We needed a voice that commanded respect, someone with millions of fans, someone who is worth the 7-figure contract we just signed." She looked right at me. Then she pressed play. The 65-inch TV screen went black. Then the Audiosphere logo appeared, and my voice, crystal clear, powerful, terrifyingly calm, filled the room. "Everyone has a secret," the voiceover said. "Some secrets keep us safe. Others keep us powerful." The visuals showed accolades: 3.5 million subscribers, 500 million downloads, the voice of a generation. Then, for the first time ever, the video cut to a silhouette of a woman in a studio. It was me. The text on screen read, "Introducing the exclusive series from the Shadow Reader," and then in small letters at the bottom, "Written and narrated by Mia Vance." The video ended. The silence in the living room was heavier than lead. My mom's mouth was hanging open. My dad looked like he was trying to solve a math problem in a language he didn't speak. Justin looked at the TV, then at Elena, then at me. "That," he croaked, "that's your voice." "Yes," I said. "7 figures?" my dad whispered. "Did she say 7 figures?" Elena walked back to the table. She didn't sit down. "Mia isn't just a podcaster, Justin," she said, staring at him. "She is a brand. She is the most sought-after talent in my industry. When I told my boss I knew her, he asked if I could get her autograph. Justin turned red. But she's in a closet. She wears sweatpants. That closet, I said, taking a sip of water, paid for this dinner. Actually, it paid for your Christmas presents, too, and the house I just bought in the hills. You bought a house? My mom shrieked. Closed on it yesterday, I said, cash. Justin slammed his hand on the table. Why didn't you say anything? He shouted. You let us sit here and think you were a loser. I didn't let you do anything, I said calmly. You decided I was a loser because I didn't fit your definition of success. I tried to tell you years ago. You laughed. We were joking, my dad said, his voice rising. We're family. You don't hide millions of dollars from family. You do, I said, when your family tells you that your passion is a joke. Elena turned to Justin. You know what the worst part is? She asked. What? Justin snapped. I've been listening to him talk down to you for months, she said to me. And then I realized he's jealous. He's working 80 hours a week for a bonus that you make in a month. Elena, Justin warned. I can't do this anymore, Elena said. I can't be with someone who needs to make others feel small to feel big, especially his own sister. She grabbed her purse. I'm leaving, she said. Mia, I'll see you at the launch party next week. The CEO wants to buy you a drink. I'll be there, I said. Elena walked out. The front door closed. Justin sat there, single, humiliated, and outmatched. My mom started crying. You ruined Christmas, she sobbed. You embarrassed your brother. No, I said, standing up. I just stopped protecting him from the truth. I grabbed my coat. I'm going to go, I said. I have a deadline in the morning. Enjoy the ham. I walked out of that house and into the crisp winter air. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel the need to look back. The aftermath was exactly what you'd expect. Justin sent me a long, angry text accusing me of sabotaging his relationship. He said his boss at the bank saw the commercial and asked if the shadow reader was his sister. When Justin said yes, his boss asked why he hadn't brought the account to their firm for wealth management. Justin had to admit he didn't know I had any wealth to manage. He looked like an idiot professionally. My parents tried the guilt trip. They sent emails about family loyalty and sharing the wealth. My dad suddenly had a lot of ideas about how I should invest my money. I hired a financial advisor, a stranger. I keep my conversations with my parents brief now. They know what I do. They know what I'm worth. And strangely, the jokes have stopped. Justin doesn't smirk when he sees me. He looks tired. He's realized that while he was climbing a ladder, I was building a rocket ship. Here's the thing about success. It's the best revenge, yes. But not because it hurts them. It's the best revenge because it frees you. I don't need them to understand my job anymore. The world understands it. If you're the black sheep, if you're the one in the closet with a microphone or a paintbrush or a notebook, keep going. Let them laugh. Let them mock you at Thanksgiving. Because one day, the silence will fall, and it will be the most beautiful sound you've ever heard.